You're late for an important meeting. The coffee you just bought is burning your hand, and suddenly, a car swerves into your lane without signaling. Your heart pounds, your jaw tightens. In that instant, the ancient part of your brain screams for revenge. But here's the truth. You have 30 seconds. 30 seconds to let the rage take over, or to choose something different. This is the micro moment where faith lives. Not in grand gestures, but in the gap between impulse and action. You grip the wheel, you feel the heat of the cup, and then you remember. Anger never made anyone early. So you exhale, you slow down, you let the other driver in. That simple choice reshapes the rest of your day. It doesn't erase the frustration, but it tames it. Faith in a micro moment is a muscle, and every 30-second decision is a representative. The next time you're tested, you'll be stronger. You'll remember that in those fleeting seconds, you have the power to write a different story. Imagine a woman in a hospital bed, her hands clasped in prayer. She's been told the tumor is inoperable, yet she smiles, a calm that baffles her doctors. What's happening inside her brain? Recent neuroscience reveals that belief, whether in God, a higher purpose, or simply a better tomorrow, physically reshapes our neural pathways. When we engage in prayer or meditation, the prefrontal cortex lights up, dampening the amygdala's fear response. The result? A cascade of neurochemicals. Oxytocin surges, bonding us to something greater. Dopamine rewards our trust, and cortisol, the stress hormone, plunges. This isn't wishful thinking, it's biology. In one study, patients with strong religious faith reported significantly less pain and anxiety after surgery than non-believers, even controlling for optimism. The brain doesn't distinguish between a real safety net and a perceived one. Faith, it turns out, is a biological hack for resilience. But how did this evolve? Our ancestors who could see pattern and purpose in random events were more likely to cooperate, survive, and pass on the genes that make belief feel natural. Today, that same circuitry helps us endure the unendurable. So when you watch someone pray in a crisis, you're witnessing a neurological rewiring, a silent symphony of chemicals turning fear into hope. The takeaway? You don't need a creed to benefit. Imagine two people standing at the edge of a cliff. One says, "Jump, I'll catch you." The other closes their eyes and leaps. That's faith, not just in grand gestures, but in the small, quiet moments. When you trust your partner to pick up milk on the way home, or forgive a harsh word said in exhaustion, that's faith woven into daily life. It's the invisible glue that holds relationships together when everything else seems to fall apart. Consider this. A couple married for 40 years. They've weathered storms, financial ruin, illness, loss. Yet every morning, he makes her coffee just the way she likes it, and she leaves love notes in his lunchbox. These aren't grand acts of romance. They're rituals of faith. Faith that their love is still worth the effort. Faith that the other person will show up, even when tired. Now think about a moment when trust was broken. Maybe a lie, a betrayal. The relationship could have shattered. But faith allowed them to rebuild. Not blindly, but with a choice to believe in the possibility of repair. One partner apologized sincerely. The other chose to forgive, not because the pain vanished, but because faith said, "We can be better." That's the glue. It's not about blind optimism. It's about she had only one coin left. It wasn't much, but she dropped it into the cup of a homeless man. He smiled, bought a loaf of bread from a baker who hadn't made a sale all morning. The baker, feeling a surge of hope, gave a free pastry to a tired mother. That mother, grateful, helped an elderly neighbor carry groceries. The neighbor, moved by the kindness, donated a bag of clothes to a shelter. Months later, the shelter director, who was that same homeless man, spoke at a community event. He said one coin changed everything. It wasn't the money, it was the belief that someone cared. That belief spreads faster than any currency, and it always comes back around. You know that feeling when you look back at your life and see a thread you never noticed? For years, Sarah thought her faith was something she had to schedule, like a weekly meeting she couldn't miss. But one evening, Sitting on her porch, watching the sunset paint the sky, something clicked. She realized faith isn't just in church, but in daily moments. She started a simple habit. Every night, she would ask herself, "Where did I see grace today?" It rewires your brain to notice the invisible, the kindness of a stranger, the patience of a friend, the stillness of morning coffee. Soon, her faith wasn't a separate part of her life. It became the lens through which she saw everything. So here's the challenge. Tonight, before you sleep, ask that one question. And if you feel it, share your story with someone tomorrow. Because your faith isn't just about